Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we get to explore fascinating companies. And today we're diving into the world of pre-engineered buildings
Okay.
and the Indian construction industry.
Sounds interesting.
More specifically, we'll be looking at Interarch Building Products Ltd,
Right.
a company you clearly want to understand better,
Yeah.
judging by this stack of research you sent our way.
I did want to get a good overview of this company.
It looks like it?
Yeah.
We've got company financials, annual reports,
Yeah.
investor presentations,
Mm-hmm.
and even some intriguing glimpses into board meeting minutes.
Wow.
So are you ready to uncover what makes Interarch tick?
Absolutely. I'm ready when you are.
Okay, great.
This is a gold mine of information.
Yeah.
Gives us a chance to really look at Interarch from all angles. Financials, their strategy,
Okay.
even their role in the larger Indian economy.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
jump right in.
All right.
One of the first things that caught my eye was all these awards.
Oh.
Yeah. Best Professionally Managed Company, Industry Captain for Gautam Suri.
Mm-hmm.
They're not shy about tooting their own horn, are they?
Seems to be a strategic part of their image. And perhaps their pitch to potential investors.
Okay, speaking of investors,
Yeah.
you flagged their upgraded credit rating to stable by CRISIL
Yes.
and a 15% jump in sales.
They're doing well.
Plus, they've landed some big clients, Topan, Partiyam, even a project with Cinda, which is connected to Apple phone assembly.
That's right.
So they're aiming for a blend of domestic and international recognition.
I seem so.
The Apple connection is particularly interesting. It suggests they're looking beyond India's borders.
I think so.
But before we go any further, I have to ask, for those unfamiliar with this industry,
Sure.
what exactly are pre-engineered buildings?
Yeah, that's a good question.
When I hear that term, I picture those giant metal warehouses.
You're not wrong.
Okay.
Those are definitely a common example. But pre-engineered buildings can be so much more. Data centers,
Hey, wow.
aircraft hangars.
Interesting.
Even multi-story commercial buildings are being built this way now.
So it's more than just warehouses.
Yeah.
Is it like a giant Lego set for buildings?
It's a good analogy.
Okay.
The basic idea is that components are prefabricated off-site, then shipped and assembled on location.
Okay.
This offers advantages in terms of speed,
Makes sense.
quality control, and environmental impact.
Oh, okay.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Less waste,
Right.
less disruption on-site,
Yeah.
and a faster construction timeline.
That makes sense, especially in a fast-growing economy like India's.
Right.
But is Interarch's success simply due to a booming construction market?
Well,
Or is there something more at play?
India's construction sector is definitely experiencing rapid growth, fueled by urbanization, infrastructure projects,
Right.
and a push for renewable energy sources. But Interarch isn't just riding this wave.
So they're not just benefiting from these macro trends.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
What kind of moves are we talking about?
Well, you highlighted their plans to build a new plant in Andhra Pradesh.
I did.
That suggests they're anticipating even greater demand.
They're getting ahead of it.
And they're also specifically targeting growth sectors,
Oh, interesting.
like electric vehicle manufacturing and data centers.
Why those sectors in particular?
Well, think about it.
Okay.
Electric vehicle production requires large, adaptable spaces that can be built quickly.
Okay.
Pre-engineered construction fits that bill perfectly.
Oh, I see.
And data centers,
Yeah.
they're popping up everywhere as India's digital economy explodes.
It is growing very fast.
These facilities demand precise climate control and security,
Oh, yeah.
something that pre-engineered buildings can deliver efficiently.
You're right. I hadn't considered the synergy between those sectors and pre-engineered construction.
Yeah, it's a really good fit.
Looking at their financials,
Yeah.
their revenue exceeds Rs 1,293 crore.
That's a lot.
They even have plans to borrow up to Rs 700 crore.
Wow.
It seems like they're not afraid of taking risks to achieve their goals.
Yeah, you even noted their ambitious goal to double revenue in the next 3 to 4 years.
I get.
Risk is inherent in any business,
It's true.
especially one aiming for rapid growth and an IPO like Interarch.
Right.
But remember, they've maintained a zero debt status and are net cash positive even after a recent buyback of equity shares.
Oh, wow.
That suggests they're not just spending recklessly.
So they're walking a tightrope between ambition and fiscal prudence.
I think that's a good way to put it.
But what about their sustainability efforts? Are they genuine, or is it just greenwashing for the sake of their image?
Well, they do seem to be making strides in corporate social responsibility.
Oh.
You highlighted their initiatives focused on women's empowerment,
Yes.
health and education in your notes.
I did.
They're not just writing checks.
They're really doing it.
They're actively engaging in these areas.
And how do those efforts tie back to their business?
Well, consider this.
Okay.
Investing in education can contribute to a more skilled workforce.
That makes sense.
Supporting women's empowerment can lead to a more diverse and dynamic employee base. These aren't just feel-good initiatives.
Right.
They have the potential to strengthen Interarch's overall ecosystem.
So their CSR strategy is more than just philanthropy.
Yeah,
It's interwoven with their business goals.
I think so.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
Growth, financials, sustainability. Are we looking at the perfect company then?
Well, no company is perfect.
Of course not.
And remember, these sources offer a carefully curated perspective.
Right.
The investor presentations are naturally going to highlight the positives.
Of course.
We always need to apply critical thinking, a look
Absolutely.
beyond the surface.
I agree. It's all about peeling back the layers and looking at the whole picture.
That's right.
So let's dive into their financial statements.
Okay.
This might seem dry,
Yeah.
but I promise it's where the real story starts to unfold.
All right, I'm ready.
Let's start with their unaudited financials for the quarter and half year,
Okay.
ending September 30, 2024. You specifically highlighted these.
I did.
What were you looking for?
Well, what stood out to me was the comparison between their performance in the second quarter of fiscal year 2025, or Q2 FY25,
Okay.
with the same period last year.
Okay.
It helps us understand their growth trajectory.
What does that comparison tell us?
Well, their Q2 FY25 revenue came in at a healthy INR 323 crore.
Wow.
That's a nearly 9% increase compared to the same period last year.
Okay, not bad.
Not bad at all.
The revenue's only part of the story.
You're right.
What about their profitability? That's where the rubber really meets the road.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Ooh, okay.
Their EBITDA, earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization,
Yeah.
jumped a whopping 36% year-on-year to INR 25 crore in Q2 FY25.
Okay.
Similarly, their profit after tax, or PAT, surged 32% to reach INR 21 crore.
Those are some impressive gains.
Yeah, they're doing well.
What's fueling that kind of profitability?
It seems to be a combination of factors. Firstly, Interarch experienced strong volume growth in Q2 FY25, with sales volume up 17.6% year-on-year.
That's a lot.
Secondly, even with softening steel prices,
Okay.
they've managed to maintain healthy EBITDA and PAT margins.
So they're selling more,
Right.
and they're making a good profit on each sale.
Exactly.
That's a winning formula.
It certainly is.
And if we zoom out to look at their performance for the first half of FY25, we see a continuation of this positive trend.
Yeah.
Total revenue for H1 FY25 reached INR 627 crore,
Okay.
a 6% increase compared to the same period last year.
Solid growth.
So consistent growth across the board.
It seems like it.
It's starting to sound like Interarch really has their act together.
Their financial performance definitely paints a positive picture.
But as always, numbers can only tell us so much.
You're right to really understand Interarch. We need to look beyond the numbers and see how their strategic initiatives and market positioning play into their growth.
Exactly.
Shall we move on to their annual report for the fiscal year 2023-2024?
Let's do it.
You had quite a few notes on that one,
I did.
especially around their expansion plans.
Yes, their expansion is very interesting.
Okay, lead the way.
Sure.
But before we do,
Yeah.
something from their financials really stuck with me.
Okay.
They aim to double their revenue in the next 3 to 4 years.
Ambitious.
That's a bold goal,
It is.
especially in a volatile market like construction.
For sure.
But what's intriguing is how they're approaching this target. It's not just about building more.
Yeah.
It's about strategically positioning themselves within specific high-growth sectors.
They've definitely thought this through.
Can you break that down a bit?
Sure.
What sectors are we talking about, and why are they so important for Interarch? Well, they're tapping into some key trends that are reshaping India's economy.
Okay.
Take the electric vehicle manufacturing sector, for example.
Okay.
It's experiencing explosive growth.
It is.
And Interarch is positioning itself to be the go-to provider for these companies.
Interesting.
Why?
Yeah.
Because speed and flexibility are crucial in this rapidly evolving market. Pre-engineered construction delivers on both.
That's a great point. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah.
And what about data centers?
Yeah.
How do they fit into the picture?
Data centers are another booming sector,
Right.
fueled by India's digital transformation.
Yeah.
These facilities have unique requirements,
Like what?
precise climate control,
Uh-huh.
robust security,
Well,
and the need for rapid scalability.
I see.
Pre-engineered construction ticks all those boxes.
So they're targeting sectors where pre-engineered buildings have a clear advantage.
Exactly.
Smart move. And they're doing all this while positioning themselves as a key player in the Made in India initiative.
That's right.
So they're showcasing their ability to cater to both domestic and international clients, like Apple, while emphasizing their commitment to local manufacturing.
Uh-huh.
It's a compelling narrative that resonates with government initiatives and projects that prioritize Indian companies.
For sure.
It's got a clever blend of national pride and global ambition.
I think so.
Okay, so we've got the financials,
Yeah.
the growth strategy, and the Made in India angle.
Yeah.
But what about their actual operations? How are they managing this rapid growth
Good question.
and ensuring they can deliver on these ambitious targets?
Right.
That's where their annual report for FY 2023-2024 comes in.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. The annual report offers some valuable insights into how they're operationalizing their growth strategy.
It's not just talk.
No.
They're taking concrete steps to back it up.
Yeah, there's substance behind the words.
All right, let's dig into that in part 2 of our deep dive.
Okay, sounds good.
This is getting really interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to keep going. So their annual report highlights several key areas where Interarch is focusing its efforts.
Okay.
It provides a glimpse into how they're turning their grand vision into reality.
Let's hear what's the blueprint for their success.
Well, first and foremost, they're making significant investments to expand their manufacturing capacity. They've already established a new plant in Andhra Pradesh and are planning another in Gujarat.
Wow, they're going big.
This expansion is directly tied to their ambitious revenue targets.
That's quite an undertaking.
It is.
But building more factories isn't the whole story, is it?
No, you're absolutely right.
What about maintaining quality control and maximizing efficiency as they scale?
Interarch seems to be addressing those concerns head on.
Okay, how so?
By investing in technology infrastructure.
Okay.
To enhance their in-house design, engineering,
Wow.
and manufacturing capabilities.
So they're really investing in their core competencies.
Exactly. They're actively seeking opportunities for improvement and dedicating resources to achieving design and engineering excellence.
So it's not just about building more, it's about building smarter.
I think that's a great way to put it.
Now, you marked a section in the report about their customer base.
Yes.
They've already landed some big names.
They have.
But how are they planning to expand further
Right.
and secure those all-important repeat orders?
Their annual report emphasizes the importance of both customer acquisition and retention.
Okay, so they're not taking their existing clients for granted.
Exactly. They're expanding their sales, marketing, and business development teams
To reach new clients.
to reach new clients while also nurturing those valuable existing relationships.
Okay, a two-pronged approach.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. It's not enough to just get clients in the door.
Right.
You have to build lasting partnerships.
Yeah.
And how does the Made in India initiative play into their client strategy?
It plays a big role.
Is that something they're actively leveraging?
Absolutely. They're strategically highlighting their commitment to local manufacturing and their ability to meet the specific needs of both domestic and international clients. This resonates particularly well with government projects and initiatives that prioritize Indian companies.
Oh, I see.
It's a smart way to tap into a growing sense of national pride,
Right.
while also demonstrating their ability to compete on a global stage.
It's like they found a sweet spot,
Yeah,
appealing to both local sentiment and global aspiration.
absolutely.
Okay, we've covered their expansion plans, their technology investments, their customer-centric approach,
Yes.
and their alignment with government initiatives.
It's a well-rounded strategy.
It sounds like it, but are there any potential challenges
Well,
or risks they might be overlooking?
no business plan is foolproof, especially in a market as dynamic and competitive as construction.
Yeah, that's a tough industry.
Their annual report does acknowledge potential risks,
Okay, like what?
such as fluctuations in steel prices
Oh, yeah, it's a big one?
and increased competition.
Right. Those are definitely factors they need to keep a close eye on,
They do.
especially given their ambitious growth targets.
It's a balancing act.
How are they planning to mitigate those risks?
Well,
Did they address that in the report?
they emphasize their strong financial management practices as a key buffer against market volatility.
So they're being fiscally responsible.
Yes. And they also highlighted their commitment to operational efficiency and ongoing innovation as ways to stay ahead of the curve.
So they're not resting on their laurels
They're not.
by diversifying their customer base
Mm-hmm.
and targeting high-growth sectors.
Mm-hmm.
They're also reducing their reliance on any single market segment.
Exactly, spreading the risk.
It seems like they're not just aware of the risks.
Yeah.
They're actively planning for them.
They're thinking ahead.
That's reassuring. To hear, it sounds like they're approaching this with a healthy dose of both optimism and pragmatism.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Let's shift gears for a moment and talk about their corporate social responsibility efforts.
Okay.
You highlighted their initiatives in your notes.
I did.
But how do these activities fit into their overall business strategy?
That's a good question.
Are they simply checking boxes,
I don't think so.
or is there a deeper connection?
I think it's more than just a PR move.
Okay.
Their CSR efforts seem to be genuinely integrated with their business goals and company values.
So they're walking the walk.
Yeah, they've chosen to focus on areas that not only benefit the community, but also create a positive feedback loop for their own operations.
I'm curious, what areas are we talking about specifically?
Sure.
And how do they connect back to Interarch's business?
Well, they're particularly invested in women's empowerment, health, and education initiatives.
Those are all important areas.
These are areas that can have a direct impact on their workforce and the communities they operate in. For example, investing in education can lead to a more skilled pool of potential employees.
Makes sense.
Supporting women's empowerment can foster a more diverse and inclusive workforce.
That's a fascinating perspective.
Yeah.
They're not just giving back.
Right, yeah.
They're strategically investing in the future of their company and the communities they're a part of.
I think that's a great way to summarize it.
Based on everything we've discussed, their financials, their strategic initiatives, their operational approach, and their commitment to CSR. What's your overall assessment of Interarch? Are they the real deal?
From what we've seen, they're presenting a very compelling case.
Okay.
Their financial performance is strong, their growth strategy is clear, and their commitment to sustainability and social responsibility is evident.
It does seem genuine.
Their focus on innovation, technology, and building strong customer relationships positions them well for success in a rapidly evolving market.
That's a glowing review.
It is.
But I'm sensing a but coming.
Well,
there's always another side of the coin, right?
You're right. It's important to maintain a critical perspective.
Okay.
Remember, these materials are designed to showcase the company in a positive light.
Right. It's their marketing material.
Further research and due diligence are always advisable.
Of course.
Before making any investment decisions.
Right. We have to do our own homework.
We've only seen one side of the story.
That's a good reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement.
It is.
But a healthy dose of skepticism is always a good thing.
I agree.
Speaking of getting a more complete picture,
yeah,
let's move on to those board meeting minutes you were so intrigued by.
Okay.
They offer a glimpse behind the curtain, don't they?
They do. They can provide valuable insights into their priorities, their approach to governance, and their long-term vision.
Okay. It's a chance to see what's really driving their decision-making.
All right, let's dive into those minutes and see what secrets we can uncover in part 3 of our Interarch Deep Dive.
Okay, I'm ready.
This is where things could get really interesting. All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into Interarch Building Products Ltd. We've covered their financials, their strategic moves, even their approach to sustainability.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey so far.
Now let's peek behind the curtain with these board meeting minutes. What caught your eye in these snippets?
One theme that jumps out is their laser focus on preparing for an initial public offering and IPO.
The IPO.
It's clearly top of mind for them.
Ah, that explains why they're putting so much effort into presenting themselves in the best possible light. It's all about attracting those investors, right?
Exactly. The minutes reveal they've received in-principle approval from the relevant stock exchanges.
Oh, wow.
And are in the final stages of the IPO process.
So they're about to go public.
It seems so.
That's a huge step for any company.
What kind of impact could an IPO have on Interarch?
Well, it's a potential game changer.
Okay, how so?
An IPO can provide a massive influx of capital, boost their visibility, and enhance their credibility in the market.
Okay.
It's like leveling up in the business world.
But it's not all sunshine and roses, is it?
Right.
Going public also comes with increased scrutiny and accountability.
You're absolutely right.
They'll be under a much brighter spotlight.
Once they're a publicly traded company, they'll be subject to stricter regulations and reporting requirements. They'll need to answer to a whole new set of stakeholders, their shareholders.
That's a big change.
It's a big responsibility.
So it's a high-stakes move with both tremendous opportunities and potential pitfalls.
Definitely.
Do you think they're ready for this?
From what I see in the board meeting minutes, they seem to be approaching this with a clear-eyed understanding of both the rewards and the risks.
You're not being naive.
No, they're taking steps to ensure they have the right structures in place.
Oh, good.
To handle the demands of being a publicly traded company.
Let's circle back to their financials for a moment.
Okay.
The minutes you flagged mention a buyback of equity shares.
Yeah.
That caught my attention.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means?
Sure.
And why a company would do that?
A share buyback can be a strategic move for a few different reasons.
Okay.
In Interarch's case, it appears to be a way to return value to their existing shareholders, while also boosting their earnings per share, a key metric for investors.
Okay, I'm following you, but how does buying back shares actually achieve that?
By reducing the number of outstanding shares.
Right.
They're essentially increasing the ownership stake of the remaining shareholders.
Okay.
This can lead to a higher earnings per share, which makes the company more attractive to potential investors.
That's clever. It's like they're giving themselves a little pre-IPO boost.
It could be seen that way.
So let's recap.
Right.
They're on the verge of an IPO.
Yeah.
They've bought back shares. They're aggressively expanding their capacity. And there's strategically targeting high-growth sectors. It sounds like they're firing on all cylinders.
They're certainly in a dynamic phase of growth and transformation.
It'll be interesting to see how all these pieces come together in the coming years.
It will.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
Their financials, their strategic vision, their operational approach, their commitment to sustainability, even a glimpse into their boardroom discussions.
It's been quite thorough.
What does all this mean for someone considering Interarch as an investment opportunity?
Well, we've uncovered a lot of valuable information to consider.
Right.
We've seen their strong financial performance, their ambitious growth plans, and their focus on innovation and sustainability.
It's an impressive picture.
But it's crucial to remember that investing always involves risk.
Of course.
Thorough research due diligence.
Right.
And a clear understanding of your personal investment goals are essential.
Do your homework, folks?
We've given you the pieces. Now it's up to you to assemble the puzzle.
That's a great way to put it. We can provide the information, but ultimately the decision of whether or not to invest is a personal one.
Yes.
You have to weigh the potential rewards against the risks and decide if it aligns with your own investment strategy.
I agree.
This has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of Interarch Building Products Ltd.
It really has.
They're a company on the move, and it'll be exciting to see what the future holds for them. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep asking those important questions.